Hello and welcome to the football world. You're watching the Football Current, powered by pure football energy. 9 league goals. That was the number people kept repeating. 9. As if football at its highest level could ever be reduced to a single column on a stat sheet. As if a season could be judged by one figure, detached from context, stripped of meaning, and flattened into something easy to dismiss. In the 2024 to 2025 season, whenever Lamine Yamal was mentioned, there was always someone ready to say it. 9 La Liga goals. Almost like a verdict. Almost like a limitation. But football does not work like that. And greatness never has. Because while some people were counting goals, others were watching games. While timelines filled with lazy narratives, something far more significant was unfolding on the pitch. A teenager was not just playing for FC Barcelona. He was shaping matches. He was deciding moments. He was carrying responsibility that most players never experience, not at 17, not ever. A drop of the shoulder, a burst of balance, a moment of composure when the stadium holds its breath. He equalizes, he creates, he dominates, and suddenly, the conversation feels painfully small. Because Lamine Yamal was not having a 9-goal season. He was having a season that announced him to the world. To understand why this story matters, you have to step back. You have to understand what Barcelona is, what it demands, and what it does to young players who are asked to grow up too fast. This is not just any club. This is an institution built on identity, philosophy, and expectation. From Johan Cruyff to Lionel Messi, Barcelona does not simply develop players. It turns them into symbols. And symbols are heavy things to carry. When Lamine Yamal broke into the first team, he wasn't eased in. He wasn't protected by anonymity. He wasn't hidden from pressure. From the very beginning, he was placed under the brightest lights, in a team rebuilding itself, searching for direction, searching for belief.
At 17 and 16 years old.
Yeah, he's top, man. Honestly, he's doing what he's doing at his age, it's not normal.
He's scoring unbelievable goals, making assists out of nowhere.
Messi wasn't doing what this kid's been doing at 17 and 16 years old.
At 16, he became the youngest goal scorer in La Liga history. At 16, he was already starting El Clasico matches. At 17, he was being marked like a seasoned superstar. This was not hype. This was necessity. Barcelona needed him. The 2024 to 2025 season became the moment where promise turned into production. Not in flashes, not in isolated highlights, but over weeks, months, and competitions. Across La Liga, the Copa del Rey, the Spanish Super Cup, and the Champions League, Lamine Yamal was everywhere. 18 goals in all competitions, 13 assists in La Liga alone, 43 goal contributions across the season. Those numbers matter, but only if you understand when and how they came. He scored against Real Madrid. He decided title races. He delivered in finals. He showed up when Barcelona needed someone brave enough to take the ball and say, "Give it to me." This wasn't a kid padding stats against small teams. This was a teenager running directly at elite defenders in the biggest stadiums with everything on the line. And the deeper you go, the more extraordinary it becomes. In La Liga that season, Lamine Yamal completed 161 successful dribbles. More than any player in Europe's top 5 leagues. Not young players. Not wingers. Any player. Every week, defenders knew what was coming. And every week, they failed to stop it. He created 28 big chances, the most in the league. He delivered 64 key passes. He won possession high up the pitch 35 times, leading La Liga in attacking recoveries. This is where the conversation shifts from talent to total impact. Because Hansi Flick's pressing system does not function unless the forwards work relentlessly without the ball. And Lamine Yamal didn't just comply. He excelled. Alongside Rafinha, he became one of the engines of Barcelona's high press, forcing errors, sustaining pressure, suffocating opponents. Put all of it together and the picture becomes clear. An average rating of 8.01 across the league. The highest in La Liga. Young Player of the Season. Man of the Match awards piling up. Not because of marketing. Not because of nostalgia. Because the performances demanded it. Records followed naturally. Youngest player to score a La Liga brace. First under-17 player to reach double-digit goal contributions in the league. But records only tell you what happened. They don't tell you how it felt. Week after week, Lamine Yamal played with a freedom that shouldn't exist at that age. No fear. No hesitation. Just instinct, intelligence, and audacity. When Barcelona won the domestic treble that season, La Liga, Copa del Rey, and Spanish Super Cup, he was not a passenger. He was central. He scored in the Super Cup. He assisted Ferran Torres in the Copa del Rey. He scored the goal that clinched La Liga. And in the Champions League, he didn't disappear. He rose. Fast forward to the following season, and something remarkable happened. Not stagnation, not regression, evolution. Now 18, now wearing Barcelona's iconic number 10, Lamine Yamal didn't shrink under the weight of history. He grew into it. By the midpoint of the 2025 to 2026 season, he already had 12 goals and 13 assists. Halfway through the campaign, he was matching his previous season's production. In La Liga, he was averaging a goal contribution every single match. Elite numbers for any attacker, almost unheard of for a teenager. And this time, the narrative shifted again. He was no longer just decisive in big games. He was efficient against lower block teams. The bicycle kick against Real Oviedo wasn't just spectacular. It was symbolic, a sign that his game was becoming complete. What stands out most is control. There are matches now where Lamine Yamal doesn't just influence play. He owns it. Who scored handing him a perfect 10 against Copenhagen wasn't an exaggeration. It was recognition of total dominance. Dribbles, pass, shots, tempo. Everything flowed through him. Yet, for all the added goals, his identity never changed. He is still electric one-on-one. Still among the league's leaders in completed take-ons. Still in the 99th percentile for key passes and progressive carries. Still in the 100th percentile for successful dribbles. Whenever he touches the ball, Barcelona become more dangerous. Defenses shift, shapes collapse, space appears. Even when he doesn't register a goal or assist, the damage is done through movement and gravity alone. One of the most fascinating developments has been his finishing. In the 2024 to 2025 season, he wasn't clinical. He missed chances he should have scored. But this season, the numbers flipped. 8 goals from roughly 5.5 expected goals. Scoring from positions where goals are not supposed to happen. His shooting profile is unusual. He misses easier chances in the box but thrives from lower XG situations, especially from distance. That trademark left-footed curler from the right flank is becoming inevitable. But more importantly, his decision-making has matured. Fewer forced shots. Better positioning, smarter runs. He hasn't reinvented himself. He's refined himself. To truly understand his influence, you have to look beyond goals and assists. Lamine Yamal is one of the best dribblers in the world. Period. In the 2024 to 2025 season, he averaged roughly 4 successful dribbles per game in La Liga. And it hasn't stopped. Now, teams don't even defend him one-on-one. It's 2, sometimes 3 defenders collapsing on him. And every time they do, space opens elsewhere. Sometimes too much space. There are moments when teammates simply watch, expecting magic. But even that speaks to the trust he inspires. When he receives the ball, stadiums rise. Anticipation fills the air. Because something can happen from nothing. That fearlessness, that joy, that refusal to be robotic, it's rare in modern football. And it's why comparisons to Neymar feel natural. Left-footed, expressive, confident. A reminder of football as art, not just execution. At his core, though, Lamine Yamal is a creator. 13 assists in La Liga. 12 accurate through balls. 28 big chances created. And that doesn't even capture how many opportunities went unfinished. The expected assists numbers tell the same story. He produces regardless of outcome. This season, nothing has changed. 13 assists across all competitions by mid-season. Cutbacks. Through balls. Delicate passes at the edge of the box. Moments of clarity in chaos. This is what separates him not just from young attackers, but from most footballers. Full stop. And then there's the work without the ball. Winning possession high up the pitch. Pressing immediately after turnovers. Playing over 50 matches as a teenager. 88 appearances for Barcelona before adulthood. This is not cautious development. This is trust at the highest level. When it comes to shooting, his confidence has always been there. 144 shots in La Liga last season. Responsibility embraced, not avoided. This season, that confidence is paired with intelligence. Better shot selection, better timing, better outcomes. Awards followed. 9 man of the match performances. Roughly a quarter of Barcelona's league games where he was judged the best player on the pitch. And these weren't against weak opposition. These were El Clásicos, Champions League nights. At 17, he became the youngest scorer in El Clásico history in the modern era. Recognition spread quickly. La Liga Team of the Season, Under-23 Player of the Season again, Champions League Team of the Season. And before all of that, he had already announced himself internationally. At Euro 2024, Lamine Yamal was pivotal in Spain's triumph. Young player of the tournament, a stunning semi-final goal, an assist to Nico Williams in the final. That momentum carried into the Copa Trophy, into the Nations League, into global conversations. There were genuine debates about Ballon d'Or contention. Players, pundits, analysts openly calling him one of the best players in the world. The criticism, almost entirely online, detached from reality, detached from matches, detached from football itself. Respected voices said it clearly. He is good enough for any team in the world. Not a future superstar, a current one. The Guardian ranking him fourth best player on the planet at 17 wasn't outrageous. It was logical, because those who watch him understand. The data confirms it. The eye test confirms it. And finally, football is never an individual game. One of the most important partnerships in his rise has been with Rafinha, the finisher benefiting from the chaos Lamine Yamal creates. Together, they have become one of Europe's most dangerous duos, a balance of invention and execution. This is not a story about 9 goals. It's a story about control, courage, and completeness, about a teenager redefining expectations in real time. So as the seasons unfold, and the numbers continue to rise, the real question isn't how good Lamine Yamal already is. The question is this: how high can the ceiling go when someone this complete is only just getting started?